Today, we're checking out a brand new rod from St. Croix for 2025. This is their Legend X2. So this rod was just launched this year at ICAST, and immediately when I saw it at their booth, it intrigued me. And I wouldn't say that like I was, crazy impressed at first with this thing because the look is just so unique. The foregrip looks very different than what I'm used to seeing in the saltwater market. I'm sure stuff like this exists in the bass market to some degree, but being here in West Florida, Central West Florida, I guess, I'm a saltwater guy. So this just really caught me off guard a little bit. But when I picked it up, a lot of it started to make sense because it's very comfortable in the hand. This trigger system is very unique. I'll share my thoughts on that later on. But this thing would make an incredible saltwater rod as well. So very saltwater capable in the components that we'll get into later on in the video. But in this video, we're gonna go through the entire thing. So we're gonna start back here on the butt section. We're gonna go through all the way up through the handle, the reel seat setup, the foregrip, the blank itself, the guides, all the way up to the tip section. We're gonna tell you everything you need to know about it. So stay tuned. So before we get into any of that, guys, please take a second and subscribe. Like 80% of you guys that watch are not subscribed. Just do it. It's a huge help for us. And if you enjoy our content, it helps support what we do and helps us justify creating more content and make sure you don't miss out on anything we make in the future. So with that, let's dive right in. So like I said, the unique look of this rod really caught me off guard at ICAST. So I was very interested to learn about why St. Croix did some of these things. But let's start, let's go through the technology. Let's go through the features of this thing. Let's start with the blank itself. So the blank is a carbon fiber blank. This is St. Croix's SCV2 carbon fiber, and this has graphene in it as well. So it's just, it's ridiculously lightweight and ridiculously strong and crazy sensitive as well. And it's gorgeous. It's this, real dark color, kind of gray, black with a teeny bit of metal flake, nothing overly, gaudy there, but it's just a super, super sharp looking blank. But this thing is just extremely light. The diameter is very normal to me. This is a 7.3 medium power, extra fast action. It's a very standard diameter, but as far as the overall weight and feel of it, it feels really, really good. It's definitely, I would call it extra fast. Very stiff throughout the midsection with a lot of tip sensitivity and softness out there. So I would definitely call that accurate, being an extra fast. But super, super high quality blank that feels great and is super strong. And the guides we've got on this thing are titanium guides. So I hinted at the saltwater application for this thing. These things are not going to rust in a saltwater environment. They're not going to corrode. It's not possible for titanium to do that. So you've got super, super high quality guides, and there's a bunch of them on here, as you can see. And they go down to really small guides out towards the tip. So I like that. A little bit larger here. It's going to corral the line down to a smaller guide. So really make sure they're going to be super drag and tangle free. And then you've got Torzite inserts in there too, just to make sure that they're as frictionless as possible. And then moving down the blank from the guides there, you can see the label on the rod there, Legend X2. You can see the rating right there with all the information that you want to know to make sure you grab the right one for yourself. You see the made in the USA badge. This is made in Wisconsin, so 100% US made craftsmanship. But we'll move down to this tiny little foregrip and reel seat combination. So this is one of the things that kind of threw me off with this rod until I picked it up, because it's very unique looking. You see that it's much wider and flatter on the top of this thing, and then it's kind of got a radius on the bottom that's kind of harsh, but in the hand it makes a ton of sense, because right when I grabbed it, my thumb just naturally went to the top, and there's a flat spot right there for your thumb to lay. So it just made a lot of sense. Then on the bottom where that harder radius is, your finger just wraps around there really, really comfortably. So definitely looks very unique, but it makes a lot more sense when you grab it in the hand. So moving down to the reel seat though, you've got all carbon fiber there. This thing is gorgeous. And then you've got an aluminum locking ring. This is another thing that, it looks great, but this threw me off a little bit. You've got an aluminum ring with aluminum threads on it, and it's wrapping around carbon fiber threads that are on the reel seat. So sometimes it can be sticky in a few spots, and so that's kind of annoying to me. But the beauty of this not being a big deal is once you've got a reel on there, you don't often change them. At least on the water, you might swap stuff here and there, but it's not something you're doing all the time. So not a huge deal. I just would have liked to see maybe a little smoother action on there, or maybe some aluminum threads on the blank side of the reel seat there. So it's just, you know, maybe moves together better, but yeah, moving down farther, split grip design. And then this is very unique. So you've got some agglomerated cork like we have on the top as well, that higher density speckly stuff. And then this has a trigger built into it. So this threw me off. And when I asked some of the St. Croix people, I had actually talked to one of their product engineers, and he told me this is for front facing sonar. So it's extremely technique specific. But if you've got your hand on the rod like this, like you're casting, you got one here, the angle's funny because I'm trying not to break it on my lights and microphone. It's kind of comfortable. It's just kind of weird because I'm just so not used to seeing it. But it is comfortable. Whether or not it helps with accuracy, I don't know. It's unique, but it is comfortable. So, but super high quality cork there with that, you know, high density agglomerated type stuff that's going to resist traffic a lot more than the standard cork rings. But yeah, I think it's gorgeous. It feels great in the hand as well. But that's the build of the rod right here. You might notice on that full rundown that there's no hook keeper on this. This is another interesting, unique feature. And what St. Croix said at ICAST when I was talking to their product engineers, they said people are never happy with where you put them. On a split grip, you know, a lot of times it's right here. Sometimes you see it in the middle, but I guess people don't like that. People don't like it when you put it here. So instead of, you know, putting one on that people are going to be unhappy about, St. Croix just basically gives you one of these that's attached to the rod on the tag. So you can put this on wherever you want. It's a $600+ rod, and it comes with one of these, so you can put it on if you want. So I don't know how I feel about that. I like hook keepers on the blank, but that's just me. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about a rod of this caliber coming with something like this. If you want the hook keeper, I'm sure a lot of people like it. I'm sure a lot of people will be like me and probably prefer that and have a keeper on it, but it's just something interesting. So this rod is backed by St. Croix's 15-year warranty. Make sure with St. Croix's warranty that you are registering the rod when you buy it. So very shortly after you buy it, go to their website, go through the registration, add in your proof of purchase to activate your warranty. Without that, you don't have a warranty. So make sure you do that just in case you had a claim that you needed to make. Something broke on the rod. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but unfortunately things do. So make sure you register your rod to get that 15-year warranty. As far as the feel of the rod, I think this thing is going to be phenomenal as far as the inshore application, you know, redfish, snook, trout, but specifically for throwing some of the smaller baits. I really like these extra fast action rods. They seem to do an incredible job at distance and accuracy, specifically with smaller baits. So a little Ned shrimp I like a lot from Z-Man, the 1/10 ounce Ned head on that. I really like throwing that, especially as things are getting cool in the winter. Things are going to slow down. The bait's going to get smaller. Species like redfish, snook, and trout are going to start keying in on the smaller baits. So a rod like this is just going to help you bomb something, especially if it's slick, calm out. The fish are going to be real spooky. You're not going to be able to get super close to them. So you're going to need a long cast that's going to be accurate. And a rod like this is just going to do it. There's going to be nothing to worry about as far as performance of this thing, nothing to complain about. You're going to be able to bomb those light baits out there. So like I said, you've got 22 models. That's 11 spinning and 11 casting rods. So they've got all kinds of applications. Now they're very, very close. When you get up to a very high caliber rod like this, they're going to be very, very technique specific. So you're going to have a lot of powers on the light side of things, all the way up to kind of the medium heavy side of things. So basically all those 22 models are going to be packed within, you know, slightly different lengths, slightly different actions, slightly different powers to get all of those options. So whatever you're doing inshore wise, or if you're bass fishing, they've got all that. I mean, it's technically a bass rod, but they've got all kinds of options in there to choose from. And the price starts at $615. It's expensive, and it goes up a little bit from there depending on what size you're looking for. But if you want to pick one up, there's a link right there to tailwatershop.com, and we give 10% back in store credit with every single purchase every day. And this thing is over our $100 shipping threshold, so it's going to ship for free as well. But that's it. It's a unique rod. So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you have one of these? Have you grabbed one and picked it up? I want to hear what you think about this reel seat because it was very different at first. But again, I like how comfortable it is in the hand. It's just a different look that I'm not used to. But let me know down in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video.